So welcome to the second video of the crochet along for the Spring Simplicity Shawl. By the end of this video, you will know how to work a double crochet decrease, how to decrease when making the Spring Simplicity Shawl, and how the decrease stitch, which is abbreviated as DC2tog, double crochet two together, is often confused with other double crochet stitches like clusters and bobbles. So I have seen that happen in different patterns and projects. So I would like to share with you what the differences are. And hopefully that's something that you find helpful. The Spring Simplicity Shawl is an easy triangle shawl crochet pattern and is very beginner friendly. For May 2022, so for this month, I am hosting a crochet along for this shawl. And if you sign up to participate in the CAL, then you get a copy of the pattern for free. Regardless of your experience level as a crocheter, this project is designed to be simple, repetitive, meditative, mindful, enabling you to take a break from stress, anxiety, and overthinking, and utilize crochet as a therapeutic craft that helps you focus on and live in the present. The theme of this crochet along is spring and new beginnings. If you haven't come across me before, my name is Deanne and I am a maker, designer and crochet teacher. I have dealt with both major and chronic depression and anxiety for a couple of decades, and I have ADHD. Like most other crocheters, I find crochet meditative and extremely therapeutic, and I'm keen to share crochet's physical and mental health benefits with as many people as possible. So I've made some other videos on this topic, and I will link to those in case you'd like to check them out. And talking of links, if you're watching this on YouTube, then I will put all the links you need in the description box. If you're joining me from Facebook, then I will put all the links in the Facebook event for this live stream. And I have already put a link to the event in the comments. So if you're watching on Facebook, then please feel free to indicate that you're going to the event, and then you will be sure not to miss all of that hopefully useful, interesting information. So the things that I'll link to will include how and where to sign up for and how to participate in the crochet along, what yarn you need, hooks, all the other information that I refer to in this video. I'll make sure that you know where to find it. So I've got some demonstration videos for you. I'm basically going to take you through this in, I think it's 4 steps. So I'm going to show you how to double crochet 2 together. So how to do a double crochet decrease. I'm then going to show you how to do the decrease for the shawl in particular. Then we will talk a little bit more about the decorative purposes that these sort of double crochet several stitches together can have. And then in part 4, I will demonstrate how the decrease, the cluster, and the bobble stitch all differ even though they are created in a very similar fashion. So those are the 4 steps that I'm going to go through. We'll start with step 1. And yeah, if you're excited to get started, then please do like the video either on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching, and comment and let me know where you're watching from and when you're watching. So are you watching the live or are you watching a replay? I would love to know. Okay, so this is the shawl that I am making for the crochet along. I am experimenting with my pattern a little bit. I'm using a smaller sized hook. I'm using a 4.5mm instead of the 5mm outlined in the pattern. And even with just a 0.5mm difference, I'm sure you can tell that the fabric is a lot more dense and has a lot less drape. So I think it will be different once I've blocked this shawl that I'm making. I still think it will be denser and a little less drapey than the 5mm shawls, but I don't think it will be as crumpled as it is now, and it definitely won't, like blocking will definitely resolve any I've got some curling going on at the moment, and that will definitely be resolved by blocking. So okay, so to do a double crochet 2 together, you yarn over, you insert your hook under the head of the first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. You then yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the remaining 3 loops. So what you've got now is a stitch that has 2 posts. There's one and there's the second, but only one head. So you've turned 2 stitches into 1 stitch. And I'm going to show you a couple more times how to do this. So you yarn over, insert your hook under the head of the first stitch. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. So far it's like a double crochet, but you pause here and then start another double crochet by yarning over, inserting your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've now got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then the final step is to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Now, for those of you who are part of my mindful crochet program, the Relaxed Creative, you will be familiar with the fact that when I'm demonstrating a new stitch or a new technique or whatever, I always show you what I'm doing 3 times so that you don't have to keep winding back and rewatching. And one of those times is always slowed down, zoomed in, and so that you can very easily see exactly where I'm putting my hook and where not just where I'm putting my hook, but how my fabric, how my stitch is being created, basically. The anatomy of the stitch I'm creating. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. So I, at this point, have yarned over, inserted my hook in the first stitch, so under the head of the first stitch, and created a partial double crochet. Rather than finishing off the stitch, I yarn over, insert my hook under the head of the next stitch, yarn over, grab my yarn in the throat of my hook and pull up another loop. And now I've got 4 loops on my hook. I yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. And now, hopefully you can see, I've got 2 partial crochets in those 2 stitches, which I'm now going to yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and turn those 2 partial crochets into 1 stitch, which has 1 head at the top. I just want to go back to the slides for a second. Okay, so I've also got another demonstration for how we do the decreases for the Spring Simplicity Shawl. So I'm going to show you how to decrease for the shallower shawl. So that shawl is quite shallow. It's almost like a scarf, really. So it's shallower, but much, much wider. And then I'm going to show you how to do the decrease for the deeper shawl, which is, as it sounds, comes down further onto your chest, and but it's not quite so wide. The rate of decrease is the exact same as the rate of increase. So regardless of which shawl you're making, you're basically going to decrease at the same rate as you have been doing in terms of increases. When we were doing the increases, on the right-hand side of the shawl was our straight edge, and we did our increases on the left edge. Similarly, the straight edge of the shawl is going to continue to be on the right, and we're going to do the decreases on the left. And in between decrease rows, in the same way as we had a row in between the increase rows of just 1 double crochet in each stitch, we'll also do that in between each decrease row as well. So if you are making the shallower shawl, then the rate of increase I'm sure recall was that you would do 1 increase per increase row. So we are going to do the same. We're going to do 1 decrease per decrease row for this shawl. So you've got 3 stitches left in your decrease row, and you do a double crochet 2 together over the next 2 stitches, and then you do 1 double crochet into the last stitch in the row. So just 1 regular double crochet. There's your decrease. You've got those 2 posts coming up into 1 stitch. You then turn over, work a stacked single crochet in the first stitch. And if you're not sure what I mean by a stacked single crochet, I covered that in the first video in the crochet along. And obviously I will be linking to that in the description box if you're watching on YouTube, or in the Facebook event on Facebook. So after your stacked single crochet, you then just work 1 double crochet in each stitch of the row before then doing another decrease row. I find the locking stitch markers are an amazing visual cue to remember exactly when and where you need to do a decrease. So in the case of the shallower shawl, I mark the 3rd stitch from the end of the row. For the deeper shawl, I mark the 6th stitch from the end of the row. And when I've got 6 stitches left, I work a decrease over the next 2 stitches. And then 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Then I work a 2nd decrease over the next 2 stitches. And then the last stitch is just 1 double crochet. So that's how I work every decrease row for the deeper shawl. And you can see both of my decreases there. There's 1, 2 posts, both going up into just 1 head. And there's the other one, 1, 2 posts, but 1 stitch. So for the increase rows, you had 2 double crochet in 1 stitch, and you had 2 increases for each increase row. So we're just going to decrease at the exact same rate. And then once you have finished the decrease row, you turn your work, do the stacked single crochet, and then work a double crochet in each stitch along the row. So easy peasy. These stitches aren't always used for just decreasing. Sometimes they have a decorative purpose. So if you're making shells or fan stitches or the Catherine's wheel stitch, for example, there's loads of different applications of this. But you will find that you end up using double crochet 3 together, double crochet 4 together. In the Catherine's wheel stitch, you get up to double crochet 7 together, and I'll show you that in the video that I've got. So what I really wanted to emphasize with this is that it's a double crochet 3 together or 4 together or 7 together or whatever, but it's always called that when you are actually decreasing. So I'm going to demonstrate now how you would do a double crochet 3 together. So you make the partial double crochet in the first stitch, partial double crochet in the second, and then partial double crochet in the third. You've now got 3 partial double crochets, 1, 2, 3. You've got 4 loops on your hook. That's all good. So you yarn over and pull the yarn through all 4 loops. And that's a double crochet 3 together. You have turned 3 separate stitches into 1 stitch. It has 3 posts. You inserted your hook into 3 stitches. So I'm really kind of emphasizing this. Oh, and this is the Catherine's wheel stitch, and you'll see there's 1, 2, oh, 1, 2. I thought I counted it out. Did I not? There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that right there is a double crochet 7 together, because you have incorporated 7 separate stitches into 1 stitch. So the reason that I'm emphasizing the separateness of the stitches is because it's often the case that there are other stitches which use partial double crochets in making up the stitch, but they're not decreased stitches. And now I'm going to do a 3 double crochet cluster. So start off exactly the same way as I did for the double crochet 3 together, but I insert my hook in the exact same stitch each time. I'm not going into 3 separate stitches. So I'm going to finish this off by yarning over, inserting my hook in the same stitch as the previous 2, and then I end up with 4 loops on my hook, and I yarn over, pull through all 4 loops to create 1 stitch. So I've got 3 separate posts, so just exactly the same as the double crochet 3 together. They're all pulled together into 1 stitch with 1 head, but all 3 posts are in 1 stitch. So that's how they differ. I then did another 3 double crochets. Oh yes, and then I'm going to show you how to do a bobble, which is exactly the same as a cluster. The only difference is that bobble stitches have more posts. So I think I ended up doing 5 here. That's 4. Yes, okay, so this is 5, but it could be 6 or 7, or whatever the designer decides in terms of how big they want the bobble to be. But I've done 5 partial double crochets in the same stitch. I've got 6 loops on my hook. I yarn over and pull through all 6 loops. So it's exactly the same as a cluster stitch. The difference is that the number of posts causes the stitch to puff out, and that's why it's called a bobble stitch. So that's my double crochet 3 together with the 3 separate posts in 3 separate stitches, coming together into 1 stitch. This is the cluster, which is 3 partial double crochets, so 3 posts all in 1 stitch, coming together as 1 stitch. And then this is a bobble, which is the same as a cluster. In this case, it's 5 or more posts in 1 stitch, coming together as 1 stitch, and it puffs up, which is why it's called a bobble. But it's not a puff stitch. A puff stitch is very different. So that's the bobble, that's the cluster, and that's the double crochet 3 together. So hopefully you found that interesting and clarifying and not confusing. my partner's son. Don't worry, he's perfectly fine. If you can hear him, those are not cries of what's the word, like pain or anything. Those are happy noises. Yes. A decrease is always made into separate stitches. So, for example, a double crochet 3 together turns 3 separate stitches into 1 stitch. A cluster is made into 1 stitch and creates only 1 stitch. And a bobble is the same. It's also made into 1 stitch and creates only 1 stitch, but there's usually more posts or partial double crochets used to create more texture. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you found this useful, and if you did find it useful, I hope you will give the video a like. I hope you will share it with someone else who might find it helpful or enjoyable, or both. And I would love if you comment letting me know what your biggest takeaway was from this video. And I will see you soon. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye.